Okay. All right. So chapter 14 and 15, taking care of you along the way. You guys know I'm a big advocate for this. If you chit chat with me and got some stuff going on, I usually will tell you, like, hold up, you need to go take care of you, and then we can talk about building a business. But it really is true that taking care of yourself is so important, and you can't grow a business when you are burnout. You just can't. And so some of the ways that we're going to talk about getting to that and taking care of you is learn to say no. So I'm just going to ask you guys through some of these. What are some things that you think you put on your plate, maybe on a regular basis, that you should probably be saying no to? It doesn't have to be specifics, but it could be like, like she said, like volunteering too much or things like that.
I know I'm always trying to pick up side jobs and help any way I can. And the last couple months I've had to say no to everything because I get stressed out on that. Like I quit my full-time job, but the next thing you know, I have 10 side jobs going on. And now I'm back to just working 2 days a week and then Plexus and then my family because I'm learning to say no because it's crazy.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of be stretched in all different directions, right?
Mine's easy. I'm the knower in the house because Steve says freaking yes to everything. There would be no one here if I said yes. Nope. No. This was easy to read through it. Nope. Got it. Nope.
Mine is going to be taking on other people's responsibilities. If I have a friend that says, oh my gosh, I'm, having such a bad day. I'm the first one to be like, I'll take the kids for 2 days, or I'll go help you get some groceries done or whatever. And I don't mean to be like a bad friend, but I've had to kind of like I have so much stuff going on here that I've got to focus here and stop volunteering myself to add other things to my plate.
It's hard because that was kind of what I was saying about yesterday's video. I didn't write anything until this morning about the couple. I can't remember their names, but they were talking about diligence. And he mentioned how great it is that we have the IPA sheet, but pointing out that the IPA really kind of is a minimum. If you do the IPA sheet the way it's laid out with, 3 things and 5 people and, that's really kind of a minimum. And if you want to grow, you really got to amp it up. And that is what she's getting to in here, because the good thing too about it is taking care of ourselves. We're walking billboards for Plexus. So if I stall, then people go, it's them, it's me. Anyway, that's a happy, problem to have. Okay, that's a real easy one to refocus and go, yep, I need to stick with my eating and my exercising. And, you wake up in the morning and you think, I've got 5,000 things to do. Let me do the busiest thing I can do first instead of.
Yeah. Anybody else have a say no? Things you're going to start saying no to, or you should say no to?
I don't really have a specific no, but I tend to feel like I'm a burden. So asking people for help rather than, because I just do it. I don't, but I try to do everything for everybody else. And it gets to the point where it's like, oh, nope, I can't anymore. And I just completely shut off. And learning how to not feel like I'm a burden, going, hey, can you help me with this? Or, hey, can you, delegating, like she said in the book. Most people who are successful delegate. And I know that for a fact. I've seen it, for a lot of people who are successful. And most of the time it is men, because they don't like to do anything, so they tell others to do it. But as women, we want to take care of everybody else because that's our, mothering nature to do that. And
we're controlling.
Huh?
And we're controlling.
Yeah. Hey, I wasn't going to say that, but definitely here. Yes. I know Wiley tried last night. I was cooking his food and I looked over and he started stirring it. I was like, what are you doing? Like, don't touch that. I got this. It's fine. And yeah, it was bad. And then I caught myself and I was like, it's okay. Like, he wants to help me. It's okay.
Yeah.
So not feeling that burden feeling, because to be able to time manage properly, we have to take care of what's most important for us. And then we can do for our husbands, and then we can do for our kids, and then we can do for our team. Like, it has to be, similar to that. But if we want to build a successful business, this has to be a priority. And I know for a fact I have not made it a priority in a very long time, since the beginning. And that's when I grew. So not being burden.
So she said you should do, you end up doing all these things you think you should do all the time. And I'm just going to read the excerpt. I don't even know how to say that. Give me the name of a CEO of a 7-figure company who, when she was in startup mode, cooked dinner every night, cleaned her own house every week, didn't have any childcare, and took on every volunteer opportunity offered to her. I'm serious. Send me a message on Facebook with her name and I'll send you a free gift. And it is so true. She just said, everybody, unless you've hit the financial piece of your business that you want to, you are in startup mode. And so you need to treat your business that way. And I know when I first started, I was just talking to my mother-in-law about, what I'm going to do in my business in light of my new news and things, and talking about, what that looks like when I go to the States. And it was kind of like, I know right away that I have bigger opportunities, but at the same time, I was like, the effort and the time that I put into my business when I first started to grow as fast as I did was a lot of sacrifices. And it really is true that when you want to grow that quickly, you have to do all of the things that she's telling you in this chapter, that everybody has to take on a role in order for you to be able to buckle down and do those things. I was not doing an hour of IPA a day. There's no way. I was talking to any and everybody I could get my hands on. But because of that, I grew a really solid foundation for my business. And so if I want to rebuild and regrow to that place, I'm going to have to get back in that mode. And so kind of felt like these are the steps that you need to do to be able to do that. So say yes to help, like Brianna just said. Got to say yes to help. You have to be willing to ask for it too. As women, we hold ourselves to such high standards, unreasonable standards, really. You may hear stories in your company or in your profession of moms earning 7 figures who have had no help with their kids, yet they homeschool, bake all the treats, and always have time for a workout and a bikini wax. If there are women out there who actually do this, then I applaud them until my hands hurt. But I do not hold myself up to that standard, and neither should you. It is okay to need help. I was just going to give you some examples of some of the things that I have done with my kids, because when I first started this, my kids were not in full-time school, and just kind of some of the things that I did. I have definitely had iPad time. Okay, I've definitely handed them an iPad and said, look, mommy, like right now, mommy needs an hour. I have a meeting. And they've had to learn that, and that's okay, because they don't get to do the fun things that they get to do without my income. So we've sat down and had conversations, whether it was with my husband or with my children, on what that looks like. I'm frozen. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. When I've gone to the States, I've utilized the YMCA. If you have kids, I utilize the YMCA because they give you 2 free hours of childcare. Okay, so I went and did an hour workout, and then I sat in the lobby and did an hour of IPA. And my kids played in the jungle gym, whatever that they have in there with the childcare. And so that allowed me to have some me time, but it also allowed me to get some work done. What else have I done? I've had to hire a babysitter on occasion. We have, when I do events and things like that, I've had to say, like, I need help. I need to be able to do that. So there's always going to be situations that you have to ask for a little bit of help. When it comes to my house, I hired a housekeeper, and I hired somebody to do our lawn. because my husband was deployed when I was first kind of building all of this. And, but here in England, I was able to find somebody pretty inexpensive for housekeeping. She charged me 20 pounds to come out and do my house. And so I did every other week. And that just worked well for us, so that on top of everything else I was doing, I didn't also have to deep clean my house. Because let's face it, when you're working that hard, something else has to give. You cannot keep up with all of it. I think the reason I'm struggling more now is because I'm trying to keep up with all of it. I don't have a housekeeper anymore, doing all my own laundry. I always said, if somebody could just come do my laundry and my dishes, I would be set. But it's just, you have to figure some of those things out. And so if you can't afford that, you have to ask for help. You have to sit down with your husband and the other people in your life, and you have to say, look, this is the place we want to go. And if we want all of these things, here's what I need to get there. I want to, it is, as a woman, we don't like to let things go, right? We don't like our house to get messy while we're working our business. We like to have it all in order. And sometimes that's just not possible to have complete balance. So your husband might have to step up and, do some laundry or vacuum. For us, I just needed an hour. So I would just tell him when he came home from work, he would take the kids for 1 hour. Then I could go upstairs and work for an hour. And then I would come down, cook dinner. And this is when I was in heavy mode. Remember that. And you guys are on a different time schedule than I am. So that was why it was so difficult for us. And so I would come down, I would cook dinner. We would have dinner as a family. And I would leave the table and the dishes on the table. And he would be in charge of cleaning the dishes and getting the kids to bed while I finished up work. And the reason that we did it that way was because we still needed husband and wife time. It's important. And so I gave up putting the kids to bed, which allowed him to get closer to them in that moment. But it also allowed me a little bit of extra time. And then at 8:30, I closed down. Right? Is that about right? Right time? And then I was able to spend an hour and a half with him before he had to be sound asleep for work. So that's kind of what it looked like for us when I was in crazy mode. And if you'll do those kind of things for a little while, you will be able to do the things you want to do for a long while. And that's the great thing. That was 7 months of our life. Okay. 7 months to hit Senior Ruby. And then we had a significant income. I was making more money than he was. And, that was a huge deal in our family. And a lot of things, changed. And every bit of that sacrifice was worth it. And my kids didn't feel it. I promise you. I know we think that they do. There were times where they'd say, she's on her phone all the time or something like that. But when I would sit down with them and ask them how they felt about it, they liked the things we got to do. I took them to convention with me, leaders retreat and things, and they loved being able to go and spend time with their Nana and, and see different things. So they really didn't feel like I was missing out on anything with them. But the biggest piece that she was talking about in that, as far as asking for help, is she talked about some of the things that you can consider business expenses, and those were kind of things to help you around the house, and sitters. And she said, it's why I constantly tell our team now, it is okay for your net take-home pay from your business to be lower today so that your gross earning can be bigger tomorrow. It's okay once a week to feed your husband pizza. It's all right if that's the time that you need to be able to, get some extra work done. I promise you they will survive, and they probably enjoy it. To tell you the truth. Like, yeah, pizza night. Your kids will too, right? So is there anything that you guys want to add to Say Yes to Help? Okay, so say yes to personal development. You're doing it, keep doing it. That it really is important. It is there are going to be things we talked about. I know, Val, I said to you, there's negotiables and non-negotiables when it comes to, your business fluff. And she said, well, it is part of my sanity, to be able to be on these meetings and things. Yeah, pick one or two, and then, spend the rest of your time with your business. And they really are important to have that positive, information going in and reminding you why you're doing this and who you're doing it with and who's on your side and what you can achieve from these things. So having that personal development is important, but you cannot let it overwhelm you and be your priority, because that's called management mode. And so if you are only doing that, then it's not worth it, because you can't build a business on team calls. Say yes to exercise. I think it's so important. I was just talking to my husband about this because he's been a grumpalump, and I just said, I said, don't come home till you work out. Like, I literally was like, do not come home till you work out, because he needs the endorphins. He needs to get some energy out. I was like, go take a kickboxing class or something, like, or you could like punch a bag or something. But I think it's so important to get endorphins out, because your emotions are tied to that. And I promise you, it's such a stress reliever. My therapist, yes, I go to regular therapy, y'all. It is important. My therapist says, everybody needs to tune up every once in a while, right? He says that, if you're running, you get to that 30-minute mark and you're like exhausted. And then all of a sudden you feel like you could go 25 more minutes, right? When you hit that point, that is when endorphins kick in. So, whether you are walking or whether you are lifting weights or you're running or you like yoga, whatever it is, find something that works for you and do it. And I thought it was so funny when you talked about the freshman 15 that is common in the first 2 years of your business. I totally got it. Because why? Because my business was growing fast and furious, and my butt was in this chair. And I really put that on the back burner because I didn't have time. I didn't have time to fit it all in. So you have to choose to make time for the things that fill your cup and make you feel better. And we are in a health and wellness business. If we are not showing people that we are living healthy, active lifestyles, why are they going to buy from us? I mean, that's the truth, right? So she just said, if you think you don't have time, I encourage you to reframe that thought. You cannot afford not to exercise. She said, trust me, the last thing you want to do is worry about before your convention or your gala or the fabulous new incentive trip you earned is whether or not you're going to fit into your dress or your bathing suit. And nobody got time for that. Okay. Convention is in June. You got time. So think about that now. Who's going to winner's dinner this year? Anybody? Anybody going to winner's dinner? What? Bree and I are going to go by ourselves? All right. Oh, there's Alexis. All right. Fine.
We don't want to. We want our team there. It's more fun with everybody.
No, winner's dinner is not hard if you are building your business. It is not hard to achieve if you are building your business, because it takes you and your team to do it together. And if you are adding, customers and ambassadors every month, there is no reason why you should not be able to achieve that. Right now, start thinking about convention goals. You should have 1,000 PV every month. That needs to be your goal. If you want to earn prizes, you want to have 1,000 PV, and you want to be adding ambassadors or customers on a regular basis so that you get those extra points. And you need to have their subscriptions on, because last year they added a piece where every month when that happened, you got a little extra something. So, yes. My favorite one, say yes to downtime. And I highlighted, in our profession, scrolling social media is not downtime. That is my guilty pleasure. but they're so right. It totally distracts me and it gets me on a tangent. Like my husband says probably on a regular basis now, what on earth could you be looking at again? Like, you were just on there an hour ago. What could possibly be new? I'm like, you have no idea. But Brianna laughs at me. But here's the thing. I'm like a little squirrel. Like, I'll be reading something, looking through something, and I'm like, oh, Sarah, oh man, I forgot to add her to this group. I got to go do that. And I start working. Okay? That's not downtime, right? Or I look at something and I'm like, ooh, that's a good post. Let me save that. Save. That is not downtime, right? So I promised my girls again this week, once I jumped off this call, we're going to sit down and do a board game. That's not my downtime either, let's just be honest, but they need me to be more attentive to them. But my favorite thing for downtime is a hot bath. Okay, and it's not social media, but it's still internet. I really love Pinterest. I like scrolling Pinterest. I especially with a new house and things coming up, I like to just add things. So, what's your favorite thing for downtime?
Am I seriously supposed to admit this on a video that's being recorded?
Yes. It's private though, remember, we only share it within our little...
Okay. Group of hundreds. Hundreds of people could watch the video later, you don't know. But I will shamefully admit that my husband together...
Wait, I totally missed it. It broke up. You have to say it again.
Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go.
Ah!
We're nerds.
So what is that? That's like the one where you like take pictures of things?
No, it's a handheld game, but on your phone. So when you're walking around town, and it freaks my mom out because it's not visible, it's just on the app. I'm like, oh, spin the Pokestop to one of the girls in the back seat. And my mom's like, in the car going, what? I didn't see it. Oh, Pikachu. What? No. So yeah, now they've got all the nerds coming out of their houses. We're not allowed to play alone anymore. We have to go together and do peace. We met all kinds of people in town, which is amazing because we're all homebody nerds, and it's very exciting.
Well, what a great way to add to your business by meeting new people. I'm frozen again. There. When that game first came out, we were in the States and we drove through the Austin town square, and there had to have been 80 people running around in the town square. I was like, what are they doing?
I'm not kidding. They have community days now, and there are some times where we will be hundreds of people in an area. It's stupid, and we know it.
I didn't know it was still a big thing. Yes,
and you've got, but you don't know, a YouTuber right there in England, and he's super, Dan TDM. I don't know if you're aware of him. My kids are older, so they play Minecraft. He plays Minecraft, and the kid's a millionaire playing Minecraft on YouTube. He and his wife have pugs, and that's it. That's their life. And he plays Pokemon Go also and shares the videos. It's
I always said my kids love unwrapping things and playing. I'm like, I need to be one of those people that lets them unwrap toys and talk about them and pretend with them. So
I swear, my husband just sent me the list of the richest YouTubers, and the top or near the top is some 7-year-old kid who unwraps toys. I thought for sure it was going to be
like that.
I can't even. My kids watch it all the time, which I think is great because then we don't have to buy the toys. Look, you're seeing it. That's enough. I don't need the broken things.
No, mine say, oh, I saw that on YouTube. I need that, Mom.
All the time. No, turn it off.
No, we'll be out in the store and they're like, I know what that is. That's Sally GoFlow. She does da-da-da-da-da-da-da because I saw that on YouTube. I'm like,
Cookie Swirl C.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, anybody else? Downtime besides Pokemon Go and baths. What do you like?
When I was doing school and everything all together, when I needed a break, I would go on YouTube and watch Steve Harvey because he cracks me up. And so I could just get away from everything and laugh at him and everybody else's problems, and it took me away from what I was doing.
That's awesome. We already know Brianna watches, what, true crime or something? What is it that you binge watch?
It was Hawaii Five-0, but that's over now. So now I have to get to my business. Yes, I finished that. Yeah, that was 8 seasons.
But your downtime, is it TV or is it something else?
I don't really know what my productive downtime. I feel
not productive downtime. What's your downtime?
No, like that recharges me. That's my thing, is because the TV does not recharge me. It drains me even more because it's like just sucking the soul out of me is how I feel. I don't know. I like baths. I like, Wiley and I started actually talking before we went to bed because he's addicted to social media like you, Ansley. It's okay. You guys should meet together and you should talk.
We need to be in a support group.
Yes, very much so. So that's good, but I mean, I don't really know, and I think that's part of my problem is like I'm trying to figure out what's a good recharge downtime because I don't have anything yet. Like I used to love playing volleyball, and I would love to find a team and do that once or twice a week because that would recharge me. But it's such a small town, so trying to find a team that only needs one player, I think would be difficult instead of like building your own team, and I don't know enough people, so I don't know. I'm going to figure that out, and I'm going to get back to you.
Maybe the gym. You like the gym.
But that's work, too. Like, because, I do. I love that. And usually it does recharge me, but when it becomes work, then it's the same thing like with you and Facebook. Like, I'm meeting people, and I'm talking to people, and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know.
I like chick flicks, and I like mushy, like Hallmark movies or whatever, like those. And I like drama reality TV. My husband's like, how do you watch this stuff? And I'm like, because I literally can just not think about anything. Like literally can just be like, ugh. Like you watch somebody else's life be retarded. Like I just can't. Like
Wiley and I watch
Hallmark movies are my kryptonite. And I swear every time I go, woohoo, countdown to Christmas, my kids go, you've been counting down to Christmas since July.
My mom actually got my stepdad to watch those movies. And I have never in my life seen him watch a chick flick ever. And I think he's getting soft in his old age because he usually watches hunting and fishing shows. And now he's watching that with her. And I'm like, oh my gosh. That just blew my mind. But I agree. But that's kind of what's wrong with America in a way, because they get engaged a week after knowing each other, then they get married and all this, and they love each other within 2 days. It's like, how does
my husband says, he's like, this is teaching our children false things. False truths about love.
True.
Because every time they kiss on the TV, my kids go, are they going to get married? I'm like, yes, that's exactly how it works. Every person you kiss, you have to marry. All right, Alexis, do you have any downtime?
Barely, but I love watching, like you guys were saying, true stories and chick flicks, and the ones that just make you cry, but everything makes me cry.
Awesome. Oh, okay. So the get into action, I'm terrified to do. She says, over the next 7 days, write down every instance you find yourself with a little time in your hands and start trolling social media. Since you're monitoring yourself, you'll probably be under-reporting how much time you're actually spending, but the research might actually give you a clue. You know what surprises me, though? I can post on Instagram, and I do not scroll Instagram, probably because I don't understand it. But I can post on Instagram and then walk away for days. So I don't
I
know.
like Instagram more, but I think the problem is that Facebook is so your friend oriented. Like
Yeah.
it's everything that's going on in your friends and family's lives and all this stuff. Well, with Instagram, it's just random people. Like if you put in a hashtag, you see whoever wrote that hashtag. It's not somebody you know, and I think that's why I like Instagram a little bit more, but it's not good at building a business. But that's why I look at Facebook like building a business.
But honestly, a lot of the diamonds and stuff, they're using Instagram to build their business really quickly because they are meeting strangers. You know,
Exactly.
There are a lot of coaches that say that too, because there is not an oversaturation, but sort of a saturation on Facebook of network marketers, and there is not on Instagram. I think it's 30% or something like that. But you have to, I mean, that's like, it's all look visual. And then there are people who do like mini blog posts with their picture. Who has time? I can't even think of things to write. And then people are building relationships on that stuff. So and I don't know, somebody else said, and you were talking about this, I think one time yesterday, last week, I don't know, I'm crazy, about Instagram needing to be roughly 80% of your pictures, your face. Wow. I don't do that. And everybody's got, their cameras and their perfect little desk shots and the table shots and the up aboves. They're all great, but people won't know you unless you put you. Ooh, hadn't thought of that.
That wasn't me. That wasn't my expertise. It was somebody else. But I disagree with the thing that you said about the Instagram not being network marketers. I swear I cannot find. That's why I struggle with Instagram, because anytime I put in a hashtag, whatever, it's always somebody selling something. So I always feel like how am I going to create a relationship with somebody that's already doing what I'm doing? So I sure have just not found the right niche yet, or the right hashtags. But I feel like, if you type in stay-at-home mom, they're all network marketers. They're all just selling something. If it's anything about fashion, they're all selling the clothes they got on their body, and it's I don't know, it's intimidating to me. Anybody that comments on my Instagram stuff, it's somebody trying to either hook me as a network marketer or sell me something. It's never like legit, like normal people.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggle with Instagram. But Brianna, if you like Instagram and it is something that you will do consistently, run after it, girl. Nobody said you have to use Facebook. Just find a social media outlet that works well for you and do it. When I find people on Instagram, I link them back over to my Facebook, because I haven't figured out how to do like voice messages or send them things through the messaging app kind of thing that they have. It's so confusing compared to Messenger. I love Messenger. I love that I can just link things easily through my back office and stuff. So I'm always like, can you find me on Facebook? after I've got like added them into the conversation. Okay, so start your day the right way. She like literally talking to me. Literally, I absolutely get up and check my email, my text, and my Facebook to see if I missed anything from you guys while I slept. And I do it really because of my time zone, but also to make sure I didn't miss anything like super important and make sure I get back to you guys right away. But reality is, you're still sleeping. What does it matter? I can't help you while you're sleeping. So, Rhonda just said that she's been working on this, getting up and doing a gratitude journal and spending time with God and doing things for herself. And I really am going to try to do that. She said that she thought that she was in control of her day from the beginning, but I wasn't. It was the exact opposite. I was letting other people control my day from the beginning. No wonder I felt like I was playing catch up all day long. I hadn't taken the time to check in with me. The beautiful thing is that each of us get to decide how our day starts. I vote that mine should start with gratitude, positivity, and inspiration. She said, if you use your cell phone for an alarm clock, stop and put it in somewhere where you won't see it when you wake up until you're done starting your day. I don't know that I'll stop using it as an alarm clock, but I really do agree with not using your phone in the morning and getting up and finding something for you, whether you go to the gym, whether you spend time with God, whether you whatever it is that you do, do something for you before you start your work day. Anybody else have the same problem I have and check everything as soon as you wake up? No? Yes?
Yeah, that's the first thing I go to is my phone when I wake up. I skip like the bathroom, everything. I go straight to my phone. And that's not okay.
It's so bad that the other day my kids had my phone, or I left it down. Sometimes I like purposely let my phone run out of battery and I leave it downstairs and don't charge it all night because I don't want to get up and look at my phone, or don't want to deal with anything for the rest of the night or whatever. But it is so bad, my addiction, and the fact that I check my phone every morning, that the other day, must have been a Saturday because my husband was home, and he came out of the shower and I was sitting up in the bed looking at him, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing. I'm just sitting here. It's just, morning time." He's like, "That's so weird." And I was like, "Why? Because I'm normally on my phone?" He's like, "Yes." So that is seriously how bad it is. The minute I wake up, I'm like, oh, like checking in for my day, and then I feel like I can get out of bed. It's bad. So I'm going to stop. Unplug. This one is really hard for me in the first few years, but it's so necessary to have set times when we completely unplug from our work and technology, daily, weekly, and for longer stretches every year. Researchers show that unplugging produces greater productivity and actually helps your team to develop their own skills and leadership. This is one of the reasons that I started our Dare to Be Diamond business thread. I think it's important. I hope you utilize it. I hope you add your teammates to it, because if you are not there, they have other people that can help them. I was answering things on 24/7 basis because I didn't want anybody to miss out on anything, and I didn't want to not be able to help somebody in the moment. But I realized that I was really holding people's hands and they weren't learning to do it on their own. And so then when I was MIA, everything fell apart, and that's not growing leaders. And so I really encourage you, if you are out to dinner with your family, put your phone away, turn it off completely, shut it down, give your husband and your kids some undivided attention. It is so important, and they will be more understanding when you want to do other things with your business if you give them quality one-on-one time. Promise. Celebrate the little victories. Whether it is making calls to 5 new people, reaching out to the scariest person on your chicken list, having a frank conversation with your business partner about their goals or lack of activity to meet them, even though it was really uncomfortable. It's the little victories that lead to the big ones, and celebrating and rewarding ourselves for those successes along the way help keep us motivated to keep going towards the big, scary, audacious goals. So true. I would love to see more of that. We used to be really good at being on our team page and in posting about our teammates when they did, something really awesome, or even if it was really small. But I would encourage you to toot your own horn. Get on there and tell us what you did today that was scary or exciting or fun, or even in our thread, or send me a private message and tell me what you did so that I can pat you on the back and cheer you on, because it's exciting and it motivates others as much as it motivates you. And your team sees you working and doing things. They're like, oh, well, if Alexis can do that, then I can do that. If Valerie did that, I can get out and do that. She reached out to 5 people. I bet I can reach out to 6. I promise you, it encourages people and it motivates people. Be kind to yourself. You're going to have days when everything goes to hell, right? So I told you guys, Monday and Tuesday, that was me. I literally spent the entire day in the doctor's office for myself on Monday. And I even had to force my husband to come home early from work and get the kids off the bus because I could not get out of the doctor's office. And to get my medication was taking forever. And I think I spent like 6 hours at the hospital that day. And I was like, seriously? And the next day we had Adelie's stuff, and it was an hour away. And so that's 2 hours there and back and all of that. So it just, some days things just happen, and it is what it is. And so you just need to handle it and get back on the horse the next day, right? All right, family affair. We talked a little bit about this already, but tell them what is in it for them. I know this was on our thread the other day about a husband not being supportive, and this is so important. It's so important for you to make sure that your people are on your team, right? And but you have those conversations. If you're going to need help from them, you better sit down and tell them that. They're not going to just know. So, we call them your shareholders. Sit down with your family, talk about what your dreams and your goals are, set realistic expectations, if you're going for gold, and just tell them, if I'm going to do that, I need to be reaching out to X amount of people. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need, your contacts, and I'm going to need, when I need to get on the phone and make these calls or make this time, I'm going to need some extra help around the house. I'm going to need you to cook dinner on Wednesdays or whatever that looks like. So they know, but make sure you're telling them what's in it for them. What are you doing to help them accomplish their dreams and their things? Do your husbands know that if you get to Emerald, that you get a free car and you can take a car payment off of them? Do they know that you could take them to Hawaii every year? Do they know that, gold would give you $1,000 in your pocket that could take some stress off of things? Like, if they don't know what that looks like, then, they're not going to be very excited about it, right? And your kids. If you're working towards a big trip to Disney, or if they like to do extracurricular activities and that's what you're working towards, make sure they know. My kids know when I have meetings and things that in order for us to be able to do the fun things that we do or live in a nice house, I have to work a little bit, and so they understand that. My kids know what Hawaii is. They know what Hawaii is, and they talk about it, and they know what vacation is. They know, what Christmas is. I'm like, you like those toys under the tree? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, if you want them this year, Mama's got to work. Okay. You like having TV? All of those things cost money, and they need to understand that. Mine are only 5 and 6, but it started with when they squeezed out an entire bottle of shampoo, and I made them go into the bathtub, and I made them go dig their pennies out of their piggy bank to help them understand money. Everything they use costs money, and Mommy and Daddy have to work for that. And someday you'll have bigger kids with cell phones, and they're going to want car payments and whatever, and it takes an effort to get there, so it doesn't just poof out of the air. Recruit your husband, not necessarily to be your business partner, although that is great, but make sure that he knows what you're doing. Just says, I'm talking about making sure your guy has a basic understanding of your enterprise and involving him in the parts of your business that affect him. Make sure you want him to be your biggest cheerleader. Use your products or services you now represent and be a source of referrals for you. This call is a valuable opportunity to make sure your husband understands the business, addresses any concerns he has that weren't addressed while you were considering the business, and educate him on how helpful it will be if he helps you add it to your prospect list over the next several weeks, people he knows. Brianna, does your husband wear those flat hats?
I wish that he did, but he doesn't like to anymore.
Okay, well, I have a flat plexus hat, and that my husband is getting rid of, that he has never worn. And so if anybody knows of a husband that wears those, here, I'll show you, those flat hats. I don't even know what they're called. I thought maybe because he was into racing that he did. And I was like, oh, I'm going to send it to you.
I like it. What's the back on it?
6 7/8 and 7 1/4.
Is that small? Do you guys know, is that small, medium, or large?
Don't know. Fits my head. My husband has a small head.
Okay.
But anyway,
I like when he wears his hat backwards, but he gets mad at me every time that I tell him that. I think he looks awesome.
well, my husband said as long as I don't call him cute, then it's okay. Because I'd be like, oh, you look cute like that. And he's like, well, then I'm not doing it anymore. If anybody knows, maybe I'll just ask on our team page. But it still has a sticker on and everything. It's never been used. So hate for it. He was going to donate it. I'm like, what are you doing? That is useful.
My husband will wear it and support it to get me business, so I'll even pay for it.
No, I will send it to you. I will send it to you as long as you promise to work your business. I will send it to you. That was my point.
He got company jackets with the company name, and he says, if you know someone that will sew plexus on here, I will support both businesses. I was like, yes.
Oh, that's so cool. That's great. Well, I will send it to you. And that was my point, is to get him to represent you. My husband takes our products. He mixes his pink drink. When somebody asks him about, being stressed or not sleeping or whatever, he talks about it. He doesn't sell it, but he just brings them back to me and sets me up with the links with people's wives or, whatever. So leverage your husband's network. Get on his Facebook and meet some people. Okay. If Brianna goes out to like races all the time and she knows her husband's contacts, bring them some trials. Hey guys, I know you drink Red Bull. Would you drink this for a week and then give me your feedback? I'm going to contact you in 1 week. Okay. Just do that with them because maybe they'll fall in love with it. My husband used to drink 3 energy drinks a day. He hasn't touched one in 3 years. Okay. But I'm just telling you that they don't know what they don't know. So leverage their network. Sometimes you are going to have a not so supportive husband, right? I shared with on the thread that her husband did not even taste a pink drink until she went Emerald. I can't imagine that. If I was bringing in that kind of money, I'd be like, you are going to drink this now. I'd be like, I would be hiding the pills in his, yogurt or something. Like, but seriously, until she went Emerald. So you are going to find people that don't support you. Number 1, that doesn't have to hold you back. Clearly, Rhonda went Emerald without her husband trying to product. I'm frozen. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Will you say number 1?
You missed it. You didn't hear it. Number 1, doesn't have to hold you back. Obviously she went Emerald without her husband being supportive. It doesn't hold you back. It just means it might be a little bit of a stumbling block. But eventually you're going to show them the reason that you're doing this, and eventually they're going to catch on. My husband took the products right away, but he thought the business side of this was pretty kooky. He had seen me do another network marketing business, and until I started really bringing in an income, he did not take it seriously. I would come home, or he would come home, and I would like run in the door every day and be like, I signed 3 new ambassadors today. And he was like, okay, babe. He just did not get it until I started bringing in paychecks. And I was like, I made $300 this month. And he was like, that's cool. Then I made $800 this month. He's like, nuh-uh. And then it started getting bigger and bigger, and it was starting to blow him away. And then he started getting mad because I was creeping in on his paycheck, and he was like, oh no, you are not going to make more money than me. So he really got on board. I wish he could go to more Plexus events because he's been to 1 leaders retreat, and he was just so in awe of our company. If you guys can get your husbands to an event, it will change their minds because, you know, especially my husband's in military, you know, it is black and white. They do not care about, probably shouldn't say that loud. They don't really care about you. They want you to do what you need to do, and that is it. And our company cares about their people. I remember he was sitting there with us at Leaders Retreat, and they brought out some of the people that worked kind of behind the scenes, and they talked about how they gave them this free trip, and it was just really cool. And he was like, wow, like they really care about their people. And then we had our John Maxwell speak, and literally my husband recorded the entire thing on his phone because he was just so enthralled by it. My husband does leadership on a regular basis, and he learned something from that trip as well. So get them involved, bring them along, and you know, there's no guarantee that they're gonna be on board, but stay focused on your business, surround yourself with positive people, and fill your head with personal development every day. That's what she says. Make your kids part of your business. I think that's really important. She said, I've always tried to find ways to make the kids feel included in this business. I began by referring it to our business or the family business when the kids were really little. I'd give them a toy phone or a computer so they could do their work while I did mine. This could be why some of Beeb's, I don't even know, first words were eye cream and peptides. I give them little jobs to help the family business, even if it wasn't all that helpful, just so they'd have more ownership of the success. It included emptying the trash can in my office, organizing pins, shredded paper, and anything else that was fun for them and made them feel empowered and valuable. As they got older, their contributions had become more substantial. Just last week, they got to help her pick out beautiful jewelry for their people. So involve them. If you have a Plexus event, like a vendor show, take them with you. You know, strap one on the front or whatever you got to do, and let them do it. My kids get out there, and they I always take the kids' multivitamins, and I chop them in half, and I put them in a little container or on a paper plate, and I let them pass them out to the kids, because every time I'm at a vendor event, the kids want to drink the pink drink. And I always tell the parents that it's safe, it's okay, but it's really great when the parents come up to have something for the kids. And my kids are like, oh, I love them. And so then it, you know, kind of brings them to the table, and it's a good way, but nobody rejects a kid. Nobody does. So bring them as a part of it. People come up to your table just because your kids are cute. It's true. Involve them. If you have a sip and see or something, involve them. Or, you know, when we, sometimes I have the ability to do Christmas gifts and things for our team, and they wrap them, or, you know, just little things. They love to get involved. So help them. My kids, I swear to you, I don't know what was going on this week. We talked about Christmas gifts for the teachers or something, and she was like, Mom, you could give them Plexus. And every time that I'm like, the little girl that she wants to have a play date with that I told you guys about, she's like, Mom, you could sell her Plexus. Like, that's just the first thing that comes to their head. And I love that, because they've just been in this business with me and they know what it is. So yeah, that's it, guys. Can you believe we only ran 2 minutes over? Anybody have any thoughts or anything?
I just want to say this. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Alexis.
I just want to say, to be honest, this chapter made me cry, because Julian and I fought so much because I've been neglective and I'm on my phone too much. And at first he didn't really understand, because I'm not making a huge income to bring in and prove what I'm doing. But now he's seeing that I am so passionate, and the changes it's made for us and me. And so, and I do involve my kids, and Mercedes is the same way. She wants to help me do my sample packs. She wants to do my videos with me. And I ask her what my name is, and since people call me Lexus, she says Plexus. And it just really hit home. So that's all I wanted to add to this chapter.
That's awesome.
My question is, what book are we
Okay,
doing?
so let me stop the recording for a second.